Hello guys, welcome back to a new video of Above End. Um, as I said in the previous video, I was gonna finish off this build here in this area of the track ride that we are having in the park here. Um, so what I'm doing is basically the interior, what I can do. I gotta say, after building all this interior stuff, um, really like compact. It's starting to get me now that it's not super fun. I mean, it's fun, but the ideas and what to do doesn't just like they don't come so much anymore. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like that. I feel like I've used all my ideas on all these sort of compact areas, and it's very difficult to try to find new ones and new ways of detailing the inside of our coaster stations and track rides and queues and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I'm doing the interior here, and as you can see, I already started trying to place a little bit of other trim on it. I used the one from the World's Fair pack, I think. Never actually tried that piece before, but I thought it went okay here, since it was just some trim work that I need to have. And I basically just add and remove and add and remove stuff from here, because I wasn't entirely sure what I was gonna do. Um, I want to fill it up and pack it up as good as I could, and kind of make it feel like that the building you see on the outside kind of makes sense to the building in here. So that's also why I made a door that kind of like goes in, and then it takes you up if you decide to go in. If we look at it in a realistic point of view. Um, but there's not a lot to say right here at this point, since I'm mainly just trying to fill up the interior here. And I also end up, it's kind of the generator you see that is inside of the station here. We are removing that. You may have seen it in the cinematics at the start, or you will see it at the end of the cinematics, because we thought that it might be okay to remove that part and then just have the middle part in there, because I'm doing something too with the queue line, which is also something that it was a lot. That was a struggle for me. It really was. But I will get more back into that when we come to it. Um, but I mainly just add the trim work inside the station here, and trying to just give it those minor detailing, make it look compact, and the same old same as I usually do everywhere. Um, and since we don't really have the supports placed on the edges of this side yet, I had just to like put some walls up, so it felt like there was nothing to see. So you basically just drove around and followed the track. Um, so that's why you see there's like a little bit open view to the outside of the island. But that is something I will cover up, and we will also find another plan for that, because since now it's kind of like in the fog of what we want to do with that part. So. But I'm just again trying to just remove that planning coaster sign there are on these sort of what are they called? Yeah, yeah. I can't even remember what they're called now. Oh my god. Because I feel like they're always so big and white, and the planet coaster sign is just sometimes a little bit annoying to have on some of the pieces, because you just want a plain piece, right? So I had to cover up the booth where we have the guy that turns it on and off here. Oh my god, I can't remember the word. Jesus, never mind. I am here. I didn't know what to add, but I felt like I needed to go with something sort of a car theme. So what I did was that I just placed all these fuel cans here, how we got petrol cans, and just filled up this entire area with a little bit of wheels, and just to make it look like some sort of a garage, but not really, just like just some sort of a place where you can you can get your car fixed, or just a pass by or something. I don't know. But as I said, I was struggling a lot to what I could do inside, and also I felt like the building outside it took a lot of my, how do you say, my groove, in that way that I feel like the building on the outside was very nice, and to make something that would be as good of um, on the inside was nothing I didn't thought I could make that happen, because as you know, it's inside. There's this small interior, so it's probably not something that would be something to go for, because it is very tricky. But nevertheless, I felt like I got it placed, and all the small assets and all that stuff, I feel like they're okay placed all the way around here. And the station inside itself feels kind of busy too, and it still has a nice vibe, and you know, bouncing flags and the hanging roses and all that stuff again. Everything just makes it look so more alive and all that stuff, and that's kind of just what my goal was with this interior, basically. I don't think this is something I've done better stuff in this park for sure, but as I said, this one I was struggling, but I still hope. I mean, I'm still satisfied with the end result here, because I don't feel like I could do it better in any way. So I'm still satisfied, but I still feel like that there are some other places in the park where I've done way better than what I've done here. So, but yeah, we can not always build like just 100% perfect, or at least feel like your build is amazing. Or when you have that, you know, when you get that boost of yourself, when you feel like this building is gonna look awesome, or this is gonna look super cool, or then you get a little bit of boost and like, okay, I'm gonna add this and this and all things. Yeah. And that's kind of what I meant by struggling. Like, I didn't really get the boost for every time I added something here. So it felt like a long, even though it was only 4 hours of recording here, but it felt more, because yeah, it was a pickle to figure out what I was gonna do. But I did cut out a lot of stuff out where you see me try so many different pieces out, and just basically scrolling around in the taskbar, no, in the HUD thing, for looking for pieces and whatnot. And yeah, just everything became just I tried to place everything in there and see how it looked and all that. So but some things stayed and some things got deleted, of course, but as I said, it's not the best, but I'm still satisfied on the turnout of it, since I have this little space here to build on and all that stuff. And it is kind of difficult to figure out what I could kind of decorate the station with inside. But I went with the kind of like car theme, and then still have some sort of windows and doors that kind of shows that you can go further up inside into the building. So that was okay for that part, if I have to say it. But nevertheless, guys, here I'm just starting to add a little bit on the outside here. I feel like this building here on this side needed a little bit more love, since also here this is kind of where the ride ends. So you should have something nice to look at when the ride comes and ends here. So I'm adding a little bit of things here and there, and yeah, everything, as I said, works, and something just doesn't. But you guys will see some of that, of course, and some of the struggle that I have when I build this. But anyways, I feel like I needed to place something here as well, because it was so empty, and I just didn't want to go with barrels as I place further over on the left side here and later on. I just felt like it would be cool to have something live here as well. So I just placed this I made too. here and place an animatronic on, so it gives a little bit of life, sort of. So yeah, but anyways, I think I'm gonna give you guys a track or two here, and then I will get back to you guys when I do the cube line and talk a little bit more about that. So see you soon, guys. Enjoy. Bye. Alright guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the music. What you've seen me do here is I told you guys a little bit about I had a struggle making this queue line here. And the thing is that we have this generator, and the generator is kind of like the gift to the people on the island. The generator it's the reason why they are alive on this Levitate island. So of course the generator should in some way still be seen, but also kind of like hidden. I mean, it should be something that they can look at and get reminded on every day that we have this generator saved our lives, or the guy who made it, or whatever. It just keeps it alive. And we will probably do something more around it. Maybe extend some of the fences so it kind of like getting closed even more. It just to make it feel less prominent as it is now. So that was something we will do later on. But for now, I kind of just wanted to have this queue line fixed. So I did what I kind of felt that I could do. And as you see, I did try a little bit of different style than I usually do here in Above End by using this sort of just trying to make my own custom wall and fence. And all of this is kind of messy since that, as I said, I really didn't have no plans or idea. I just went with it and kind of like, okay, let me try this. And of course, the more I build, as I always say, the better it looks, the more you add, and so on and so on. So it's very difficult sometimes just to see something when you only place 5 or 6 pieces or something. Sometimes you really actually need to build everything to kind of see how does it look, and if it looks like crap, yeah, well, then you just delete and try it again. But in this case, I felt like that I just wanted to go with this sort of queue line here. And as I said, I wanted to enclosure the generator as good as I could. And also don't have the people clipping through the walls and all that stuff. Some places you might see them do, but I go in and fix all that off camera. And also some places are missing a little bit of trim. But that is also something I do off camera. It's something, you know, you are in this like mood or groove where you go around, you add pieces here and there, and you kind of like doesn't really look if it looks like if they're placed good enough, and sometimes it just goes fast in that way. And some of the things I usually always end up seeing when I am finished with all the things, and I'm like, oh, I need a plank here, oh, I need a trim here, oh, I need and so on and so on. So but it's getting seen and fixed. Like you see here, there's a little bit of this, but I do fix this. But this sort of is a little bit of everywhere around the cube, but it's something I fixed, so no worries. As you see, it's a little bit open still on the edge side, so it was kind of a little bit difficult still to kind of like get a good view on how it will look when it gets supports and all that stuff on the edge here. So what I'm doing, or just do, is I'm just placing a fence around it, which you will see me do at some point. Because I really didn't feel like I could do anything more to kind of like shine it up at this point for now. But then I got an idea here that maybe I could make this sort of a little bit of for flowers and some foliage. So this path here kind of gets a little bit of some lush vibes as well. So that's what I do here. I use the flower beds here because they kind of fit it here. And then I just add, you know, the usual foliage and flowers on the top here, kind of like to make it look more natural and organic in that way. Because I really felt like I could place something in the middle here between those kind of things, because it was too empty, and I didn't feel like I could place I couldn't place like pipes and all, because we're not gonna go that way. We more organic vibe. So that's what we did. I don't think I think I just do it here because at the other side of the pipe here you see from the generator, it clipped a little bit with the car, right? So for that part now it's kind of open until I figure out something to do there. Maybe it's something I'll do in the next video or so. Also for now, I don't know what I will do afterwards this, because I feel like this sort of area is finished for now. I can maybe take a little bit break and maybe just do some stuff on it off camera or so. I don't know what else that's gonna be built here for now. Only thing, as I mentioned, was we might expand the fencing or the enclosure a little bit around the generator only. Which probably some of us will do and record that part if it's worth a recording, if it's not just only 10 raised fences or something. But we don't know yet, so we will see. But nevertheless, I actually like how I made the queue compared to how I made the station interior. I know there's not a lot to do on this queue, but compared to the tiny spaces I have, I really feel like I got out of it pretty okay. And also, when you have this compact queue lines here, it's very difficult to decorate it, especially when there's like no room on left or right side of it. So sometimes you need to find those pieces that really makes it that better, since you only have that tiny space. And that's why I found those plank fences. They were kind of neat, and they fit well for this sort of organic look that I'm making here now. Also adding some foliage and this trellis here that goes above. So, and after I added the trellis, I kind of liked how it looked, because then it feels like they're like going from the path and they go below and you can't really see what's going on, but they're actually still only in the queue line. And I think that that came out quite nice. My intention was actually to have more trellis around, but it got more difficult the higher you came up from like the higher path to the lower path, so it was gonna look super crooked and all. So I wasn't super fond of that idea. Also something I cut out. But yeah. Here I'm just adding the famous bunting. I tried with the ropes first, but sometimes I really wish we had a little bit tinier rope, but that is probably way too much to ask. Because we do have ropes, and that is enough, even though we could use smaller, tinier pieces in Planko for sure. And I hope that whenever a new DLC, or if we get a new DLC or update or whatever, I just don't hope that they are finishing off with making scenery bits for us. Even though the Theme Maker's Toolkit, I see it as a thing that they want to pass it over to the community, which is fine. But I just don't hope that it's an ending for them to provide us with piece deals, pack DLCs. I know we got Magnificent Rides, and if we get that, that is fine too. But I'm just hoping that we're gonna get some more assets and pieces again to the game. And I don't mind buying it because if they can just do more to make this game even more better and give us more stuff, yeah, I'm not complaining at all. So that would be very, very nice if that's something that's hopefully gonna happen here in March or April, who knows. But yeah, that was just a little thing I thought about, guys. So, but anyways, back to it. Again, bonding. Here, the outside of the area here, I felt like I needed to make a path, and I also had an idea that I wanted to make like some sort of a gateway that goes into the generator. So you can kind of like have this little path that goes over, and then if they want to fix it or look at it, they kind of have this little entrance. But I didn't get so far, so maybe that's also something I might do in another video or off camera or something. Let's see how important factor it's gonna have or how much it's gonna look. But I'm actually just adding the last bits here, some detailing, just filling up these areas. And it was after I got out of the station, all the other things kind of came to me, because I could kind of go with all the other themes that kind of surrounds this area here. And what is important to me is kind of like keeping that sort of nice vibe going, busy vibe, but also cozy vibe. You know, everything in one. And you kind of get that from all sides. You kind of get all vibes in this town or island here, which I kind of like, because I mean, if you go over to like the block buildings that are like built up next to each other, there's a lot more city busy vibe. Where over here, if you go like outside on the edge and with the vineyard, it's more chilled, and it kind of feels like, yeah, and that's, I really like that. And that's also kind of what I said in the previous episodes, that we have sort of these two areas, and it's kind of fun because it was actually not intentional for us to build it like this, to have two different areas that kind of like mash together quite nicely. So that's just a plus in this case. But nevertheless, just doing the same things I did here, just kind of make it look pretty similar to each other, so these areas doesn't look too divided, since it's very close. And I must say, I'm okay satisfied here though, because there's not really gonna be people here on this section you saw me build. This is the entrance for the dueling mine train coaster, which probably me and Operatør is gonna work on too. The queue lines and the station and all that stuff, which is also something we need to do more of as well. So as I said, even though I'm not super happy that we still have to build this sort of close to the roof and to the walls and all that, but it does change the way you build, as I've mentioned 100 times, so it's okay and all that. And who knows, I might even get some more new ideas for when we have to build further on to the other stations and tunnels and whatever we're gonna build here in this park. And of course we also soon, hopefully, can go down to the wasteland and start on those abandoned, overgrown buildings and all that stuff, so we kind of get the island surrounded by the foundation, you know, so we get some houses on the foundation too. That might even brighten up the island more and all that stuff. So I'm still super happy and looking forward to start on that part, which I don't know who's gonna be yet. I feel like I need to be in the perfect groove for that. Maybe go watch some destruction movies or something. But anyways, as you see here, I do go in and add the last bits here and there inside the station, because the more I looked at it, the more there's just some things that needed to be added in here, because I felt like it was too empty, as I said. And after the generator got removed, there's a little bit of blank wall that needs to get a little bit of stuff on. So, but yeah, that's something I will do off camera, because it's not really super important, because it's like a tiny little bit. But I feel like this kind of feels like it's like I did in the other queue lines. This kind of feels like people can live here, and it feels busy. And with all these wheels I placed and the petrol cans and all that stuff, it does give like some sort of a car fix garage vibe, even though it's not really, but we pretend it is, because if the car ride have to have an influence, then I mean, it is what it is. It's sort of a road they build for the cars that are up in this island. So they just go one. It's just a one-way road. That's what we can offer here. But anyways, adding that animatronic, as I said, and giving him a little bit of a mug he can drink off, and give him a little good book to read, giving that super good summer vibe, as we all know. But yeah, as I said, guys, I'm satisfied enough for this queue, and compared to what I had of building on, yeah, I think I got out of it pretty alright. And of course, I do love the foliage, so you'll see me add the last bits here and there, and also on the queue line here too, where I felt like the white just took a little bit too much, so I had to spice it up with a little bit of colors and all that. So but yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, as always. Leave some comments down below if you have anything on your mind, and see you in the next video, guys. Have an awesome day. Bye.